The internet is on fire right now, and the love and hip-hop world may never be the same again. Lil Scrappy just dropped a bombshell that's shaking the entire ATL scene, a DNA test that not only clears his name but completely exposes Erica Pinkett for allegedly lying about everything. What was supposed to be a quiet situation between two adults has now turned into one of the biggest betrayals and clapbacks of the year. Fans are calling it the wildest twist in LHH history. For weeks, Erica Pinkett had been painting Scrappy as a liar, a cheater, and even hinting that he was the father of her child, and she wasn't shy about letting the world know it. From cryptic Instagram posts to explosive interviews, she had everyone believing her side. But now, the receipts have arrived and they're DNA certified. Lil Scrappy didn't just clear his name. He went nuclear. From leaked screenshots to voice notes and a full statement that had the internet gasping. Scrappy proved once and for all that the truth always finds a way out. And when he said, "The tests don't lie, but people sure do," fans knew this wasn't just drama. This was war. So what really happened behind the scenes? How did Erica's story fall apart? And what does this mean for Scrappy's family and reputation moving forward? Let's get into the full story because this expose has a TL spinning. The love and N. Hip-hop world was sent into complete shock after Lil Scrappy dropped undeniable proof that turned an entire narrative upside down. For weeks, Erica Pinkett had been the center of messy online drama, throwing shade, posting cryptic messages, and making it sound like Scrappy was hiding a huge secret that he was allegedly the father of her child. The story caught fire instantly. Fans took sides, blogs picked it up, and Scrappy's name was dragged through every headline imaginable. But what nobody saw coming was the truth. And when it finally hit, it shattered Erica's story completely. It all began when Erica Pinkett started doing interviews hinting at a certain rapper who had gotten her pregnant and then ghosted her. She never said Scrappy's name directly, but the clues were too obvious to ignore. The timeline, the city, the social media posts, it all pointed toward him. She even posted a now-deleted photo of a positive pregnancy test with the caption, "Sometimes the ones who preach loyalty be the first to disappear." Fans immediately flooded Scrappy's comments, calling him out and demanding answers. At first, Scrappy tried to stay quiet. He didn't respond to the rumors, didn't address the interviews, and didn't post anything cryptic back. But behind the scenes, he was furious. According to sources close to him, Scrappy had already taken a DNA test months earlier, but he was waiting for the right time to reveal the results. He wanted to keep things private. But when Erica kept pushing the narrative and publicly calling him a liar, he decided it was time to end the lies once and for all. It started with one simple post, screenshot of official DNA test results. The document was crystal clear. Scrappy was not the father. There were no blurred sections, no questionable editing. The results were verified, signed, and dated. Within minutes, that post went viral. Fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. Some rushed to defend Scrappy, while others accused him of faking the document. But when a journalist from a major hip-hop outlet confirmed the results were legitimate, the internet exploded. Scrappy then followed it up with a caption that said, "Y'all believed her lies. I kept quiet out of respect. But now the truth talking for me." It wasn't loud or messy. It was controlled, confident, and final. And that's what made it hit harder. The same blogs that had been dragging his name now had to rewrite their headlines. Suddenly, Erica Pinkett's credibility was on the line. The woman who had been giving emotional interviews about betrayal and heartbreak was now being accused of fabricating everything. Not long after, a leaked voice note surfaced allegedly of Erica talking to a close friend, admitting that she wasn't sure who the father was, but needed a story that would get attention. The clip spread everywhere, and even though Erica's camp tried to claim it was edited, fans were convinced it was real. Scrappy's reaction was raw but calculated. Instead of ranting online, he sat down for a live session with one of his closest friends, calmly telling his side. He said, "It's sad how someone can lie on your name for clout. I've been quiet, I've been patient, but when you try to play with my character, I gotta speak up. This test right here don't just clear my name, it shows how dangerous lies can be." The live hit over 500,000 views in just 2 hours. The comment section turned into chaos. Some fans apologized for believing Erica, while others demanded she issue a public apology. One user wrote, "This man been through enough already. Y'all owe him an apology." Another added, "She played the internet and got caught in 4K. As the story spiraled, more details came out about Erica's supposed motives. Insiders claimed she had been struggling to stay relevant since her last Love and Hip Hop appearance and was desperate for a storyline to get people talking about her again. Allegedly, she thought the scandal would boost her career, but it backfired horribly by the end of the week. Erica's sponsorship deals were being pulled. A clothing brand she had been working with released a statement, saying they were no longer affiliated with her due to the controversy. Her social media following started dropping, and her comments were flooded with backlash. Scrappy, on the other hand, was finally being vindicated. For months, he had been quiet while people mocked him, accused him of being irresponsible, and even questioned his loyalty to his family. Now, those same fans were sending him messages of support, telling him they respected how he handled everything. But there was still one thing bothering him. According to people close to Scrappy, he wasn't just angry about the lies, he was heartbroken. He had genuinely cared about Erica at one point. They had shared history, and the fact that she would try to ruin him publicly for attention cut deep. One insider said, "Scrappy ain't even mad no more. He's disappointed. He trusted her once, and she turned that into a circus." Erica, meanwhile, tried to do damage control. She went live, crying and saying the situation was more complicated than people think. She claimed she never meant to hurt anyone and that everything got blown out of proportion. But fans weren't buying it. The comments were brutal. "You lied on a man's name for fame," one user wrote. "Ain't no coming back from that." By this point, every major gossip blog had picked up the story. The shade rooms, YouTube reactors, and Instagram pages were flooded with theories about what really happened. Some fans believed Erica's entire story was planned, while others thought there might be more to the DNA test that wasn't being revealed. But one thing was certain, her reputation had taken a massive hit. Scrappy, in the days following the reveal, posted another message that summed up his feelings. "Truth don't need no promotion. It speaks loud all by itself." That line became a trend across social media. Fans began quoting it under every post about the situation, turning it into a statement of strength and vindication. Now, the entire situation has turned into a lesson about clout chasing and the dangers of trying to manipulate public opinion. Erica's story may have started with sympathy, but it ended in complete exposure. And while Scrappy has made it clear that he's moving on, insiders say this won't be the last time we hear about the DNA scandal, because Erica is reportedly planning to release her own tell-all interview to defend herself. But after everything that's come out, the receipts, the test results, the leaked voice note, the question is, can she really repair her image? In part 2, we'll dive into Erica Pinkett's shocking reaction after losing everything, and how Lil Scrappy's quiet revenge ended up restoring his name and maybe even his career. As the situation unraveled, social media became the ultimate courtroom, and everyone had something to say. Erica Pinkett, who had once been confident and vocal about her claims, suddenly found herself cornered by the very audience she had rallied to her side. The DNA test results that Lil Scrappy released were detailed, official, and impossible to dismiss. Screenshots of the documents spread across every platform within hours. The text clearly stated that Scrappy was not the father of Erica's child. A single line that flipped the entire narrative upside down. Fans who had previously defended Erica began demanding explanations. Her comment section, once filled with support, turned into a battlefield of disbelief and accusations. Some begged her to come clean, while others accused her of manipulation. It was clear that her silence was only making things worse. Instead of addressing the test directly, Erica posted a vague message on Instagram about people trying to twist her truth. But by that point, the damage was done. The world had already made up its mind. Meanwhile, Scrappy wasn't holding back. He went live sitting calmly in front of his camera, but his tone was sharp and deliberate. "For weeks, I let her talk," he said. "I stayed quiet, thinking maybe she'd find it in her heart to tell the truth. But when you try to ruin a man's life, when you drag his name through the mud, you leave me no choice." Sliv quickly gathered tens of thousands of viewers. He went on to recount how the entire situation began, how Erica had re-entered his life after years apart, claiming she wanted to clear the air. According to Scrappy, it started innocently enough. A few conversations, some old feelings resurfacing, and talk of what could have been. But then, out of nowhere, she started hinting that she might be pregnant. Scrappy claimed that the timeline didn't even make sense, but he still chose to handle the situation privately, arranging the DNA test to avoid public embarrassment. But before the results were even back, Erica had already taken her story public. Interviews, podcast appearances, and social media rants followed. She implied that Scrappy was hiding from responsibility, that he was scared of being exposed. "I didn't even get the results yet. And she already had the world believing I was guilty," Scrappy said during the live. "That's what hurt the most. I'm used to hate, but lies, that hit different." The aftermath was brutal. Brands that had recently been considering collaborations with Erica reportedly pulled back. Her reputation, once built on confidence and self-promotion, took a massive hit. Even her closest allies from Love and Hip Hop seemed to distance themselves. Some fans noticed that cast members who used to support her had quietly unfollowed her, fueling speculation that everyone had seen the same receipts. Behind the scenes, sources close to the production team began whispering that producers had been aware of the tension, but never expected it to spiral like this. One insider allegedly said they thought it was just going to be typical LHH drama, not a full-blown scandal with legal paperwork involved. The show thrived on controversy, but this was something entirely different. The stakes had become real. Scrappy's redemption arc played out in real time. He began receiving an outpouring of support from fans and peers alike. Many commended him for staying patient and not reacting out of anger before the truth came out. "This is what accountability looks like," one fan tweeted. "He handled it like a grown man, got the facts, and cleared his name." Others called for Erica to issue a public apology, arguing that her false claims could have destroyed his reputation permanently. But instead of apologizing, Erica appeared to double down. She hinted that the documents might have been edited and that the truth would come out eventually. However, legal experts quickly shut that theory down, noting that DNA documents are verified through strict testing protocols and impossible to forge. Without facing serious consequences, then came another twist, a leaked voice memo allegedly featuring Erica venting to a friend about how she didn't expect it to go this far. In the clip, she supposedly admitted that she only made certain claims because she felt ignored and wanted to get Scrappy's attention. Though her representatives denied the authenticity of the clip, fans couldn't ignore how closely her voice and tone matched previous recordings of her. Scrappy responded indirectly, posting a quote that read, "When lies collapse, truth don't need to scream." The post went viral, cementing his position as the wronged party. It wasn't just about clearing his name anymore. It was about sending a message to everyone watching that clout chasing and fabrication come with consequences. In the following days, reports surfaced that Erica was considering legal action against the blogs that had circulated her old claims, trying to shift the blame toward media platforms for misrepresentation. But many saw it as an act of desperation, a final attempt to regain control of a narrative that had already slipped through her hands. Meanwhile, Lil Scrappy focused on rebuilding his image. He thanked his supporters and emphasized how damaging false accusations can be. When someone lies on you, they don't just mess with your name, they mess with your peace, he said. And peace is something I worked hard to get back. Those words resonated deeply with fans who had followed his journey. Through years of public ups and downs, by the end of the week, the truth was no longer up for debate. The DNA test was undeniable. The receipts were clear, and Erika's story had lost all credibility. The entertainment blogs that had once run her interviews began quietly taking them down, replacing headlines that once accused Scrappy with updates confirming his innocence. The fallout left everyone wondering, why did Erika risk it all for a lie? What was her motive? Revenge, attention, or heartbreak? Whatever the reason, she had underestimated how fast the truth could travel once it hit the internet. Scrappy's.com/methodical approach had completely dismantled her narrative, proving that patience sometimes speaks louder than rage. By the time part 2 of this saga ended, it wasn't just about two exes and a DNA test. It was a cautionary tale about how quickly reputations can rise and fall in the age of social media, and how one document, one piece of truth can change everything. Days after the DNA results exploded across every social media platform, the dust hadn't even begun to settle. Fans, blogs, and even celebrities were still dissecting every post, every screenshot, and every word from both Lil Scrappy and Erika Pinkett. The truth was out, but the fallout was far from over. Erika had gone completely silent for nearly a week. For someone who had built her image around confidence and social media visibility, her sudden disappearance spoke volumes. Behind the scenes, people close to her revealed that she was overwhelmed and in disbelief over how quickly the situation had spiraled out of control. She had thought she could manage the narrative that her charisma and loyal fan base would keep people on her side. But the reality hit hard. Once the receipts were public, no amount of charm or excuses could undo the damage. Then, one late night, she finally broke her silence with a shaky, dimly lit video posted to Instagram. Her tone was somber, a far cry from the fiery energy she once brought to her previous rants. "I just want to say I'm sorry," she began, her voice cracking slightly. "Things got out of hand. I let my emotions take over and I said things I shouldn't have said. I wasn't thinking straight. I didn't mean to hurt anybody." The apology video immediately went viral, but not in the way Erika hoped. The comments were ruthless. Viewers accused her of being manipulative and only apologizing because the truth had caught up to her. "She's not sorry she lied," one comment read. "She's sorry she got exposed," another user wrote. "Too late for tears now. You tried to ruin a man's name for clout." Despite the criticism, a few fans defended her, suggesting that the pressure of fame and online scrutiny might have pushed her to a breaking point. But that sympathy was a drop in an ocean of outrage. The damage to her reputation was irreversible. While Erika faced backlash, Lil Scrappy maintained a calm, measured demeanor. He didn't gloat, he didn't rant, and he didn't attack. Instead, he made one simple post, a photo of the DNA results framed neatly with the caption, "Peace restored." The image instantly became one of the most shared posts in the hip-hop world that week. People flooded the comments with words of support, praising him for taking the high road. "You didn't have to scream your truth," one fan wrote. "You just showed it." That single post solidified Scrappy's comeback. After years of public ups and downs, from relationship drama to career setbacks, this was the first time fans saw him completely in control. He had faced a storm of accusations and walked out clean, calm, and vindicated. Even major entertainment outlets like The Shade Room and Hot New Hip Hop began posting updates with headlines like "Lil Scrappy clears his name" and "DNA truth ends Erika Pinkett drama." Behind the scenes, sources revealed that Scrappy had received offers to appear on talk shows to discuss the incident, but he declined. He's done talking about it. One insider said, "He feels like the truth spoke for itself." Instead, he focused on new music and business ventures, redirecting the attention toward his art rather than the chaos. Erika, however, wasn't as fortunate. Her apology didn't slow the decline of her public image. Brands that had partnered with her quietly severed ties. Her name became associated with scandal and dishonesty. And even the Love and Hip Hop producers reportedly decided to scale back her appearances. According to industry insiders, they didn't want her drama overshadowing the rest of the cast. Still, she tried to fight back. In another post, Erica hinted that her mental health had suffered because of the ordeal. She claimed that the internet's backlash had been brutal and that she felt bullied by the same people who once claimed to support women. Though some empathized with her, others felt it was another deflection tactic, a way to shift the narrative from accountability to victimhood. Meanwhile, Scrappy's supporters continued celebrating his win. Fans began using the hashtag Peace Restored to represent truth overcoming lies. It trended for 2 days, with people sharing their own stories of being falsely accused or misunderstood. Scrappy had unintentionally started a movement centered around truth, healing, and self-respect. In a podcast interview a week later, Scrappy finally addressed the situation indirectly. "I ain't gotta keep explaining myself," he said. "The truth came out, and I'm good with that. I'm not mad at nobody, but I learned something. You can't let everybody close to you, because some people only come back to cause chaos." His words were calm but powerful. Listeners praised his maturity and self-control, contrasting it sharply with the emotional outbursts Erica had displayed weeks prior. But even as the truth spread, the emotional scars remained. People close to Scrappy admitted that he was still hurt, not just by the lie, but by how easily people believed it. "It wasn't just Erica," a friend said. "It was the fans, the blogs, the people who called him names without even knowing the facts. That's the part that hit him hardest." The story also reignited a broader conversation about how quickly public opinion can turn in the entertainment world. Fans who once cheered for Erica now questioned why they had been so quick to judge. The same outlets that ran sensational headlines about Scrappy being a deadbeat were now scrambling to post updates clearing his name. It was a harsh reminder of how fast false narratives can spread and how slow the truth can be to catch up. In a surprising move, Erica deactivated her social media accounts altogether for several weeks. When she returned, her tone was noticeably different. She posted motivational quotes about growth, forgiveness, and learning from mistakes. But the comments were still unforgiving. People weren't ready to move on. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild, especially in the public eye. Scrappy, on the other hand, found peace in silence. He turned his focus inward, spending more time with family, reconnecting with old friends, and putting energy into his music. He posted short clips from the studio, captioned with messages like "New energy only" and "No more distractions." It was clear that he wasn't just moving on from Erica. He was reclaiming his life then, unexpectedly. A clip resurfaced from months earlier, a behind-the-scenes moment from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, where Scrappy had warned his circle about trusting people who only show up when you're winning. Fans revisited that scene, calling it prophetic. In hindsight, it was clear he'd seen this kind of betrayal before. He just didn't expect it to come from someone he once cared for. As weeks turned into months, the noise faded. The blogs moved on to new scandals, and fans found new stories to debate. But the lesson remained. Scrappy's experience became a case study in how patience and truth can outlast even the loudest lies. He didn't need to scream or fight dirty. He simply let the evidence speak. By the end of it all, Erica had lost more than her credibility. She had lost the trust of an entire community that once rooted for her. Scrappy, on the other hand, emerged stronger than ever. Not just as an artist, but as a man who had faced falsehood and walked away with dignity intact in his final public statement on the matter. He wrote, "Sometimes the truth don't shout, it whispers. But when it comes, it's powerful enough to silence everything else." Those words resonated deeply across social media, closing the chapter on one of the most dramatic scandals in love and hip-hop history. It wasn't just about the DNA test anymore. It was about integrity, patience, and the power of letting the truth do the talking. And for Lil Scrappy, that quiet truth restored everything he almost lost: his peace, his pride, and his name now that the truth is out. What do you think about how Lil Scrappy handled the situation? Was he right to keep calm and let the DNA test speak for itself? Or should he have fired back sooner when the lies started spreading? This entire story showed the world how fast false accusations can ruin someone's reputation and how powerful it is when the truth finally comes. Erica Pinkett may have thought she could control the narrative, but in the end, her silence and denial only made the truth hit harder. Scrappy walked away from the chaos with his peace, his name, and his dignity still intact, something we rarely see in the entertainment world today. But this story isn't just gossip. It's a real-life lesson about trust, accountability, and what happens when clout comes before honesty. In a world that lives off viral drama, sometimes the quietest person in the room ends up being the one who wins. So whose side are you on now that the DNA results have spoken for themselves? Should Erica get another chance to rebuild her reputation, or is the damage permanent? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Because this discussion is far from over, and if you want to stay locked in for every twist, revelation, and behind-the-scenes secret in the love and hip-hop universe, make sure you subscribe to Celebrity Tycoon, hit that notification bell, and don't miss what's coming next. The truth always finds its way here first.